Hello! You may have seen me, in a previous video, beat Botany Breakers, only charging for one ride. This enormous roller coaster. Well, since I recorded that, Geta92 and Fred-104 over on Reddit have been doing some research into coaster price optimization that blows this strategy wide open. So I'm going to go back to Botany Breakers, and I am genuinely going to beat it with just one ride. So let us set a new game in motion, and I will show you how I plan to do this. So here is a brand new Botany Breakers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the research panel, and then going to give it a maximum funding, and I'm just going to research water rides. That's all I want, just the water rides. And to minimize the amount of money that I waste while I wait for this to happen, I am going to set my loan to 0. So what I am waiting for with this is to get the splash boats, which take a while to research. I think we first get the log flume and the river rapids and some useless bumper boats for the useless boat hire. But eventually we will get the splash boats, and I shall just fast forward to that moment. Hello, welcome to the future. We should be getting splash boats any time now. Right, so now I have the splash boats. The first thing I'm going to do is get rid of all that research funding, because I have my one ride I need. Need to take up some loan. And you'll see we've spent basically the minimum we could possibly spent. Nothing has gone on loan interest or anything awkward like that. And they're going to start building a splash boat. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build them over here like this, these little station platforms. And that is because I want 4 station platforms, but also I think I can beat this scenario without even building any new path. So as well as only building one ride and no shops, we're not going to build any additional path. We're just going to use the stuff that's there and then attach queue lines to it. Let's go up to maybe 65 feet. That's probably quite decent. Then we can come down here, have a like this, then a kind of a bunny hill like that. And then maybe another one like that. And then let's see. Oh yes, that works out nicely. Then we can go up like that, off that, and then down like that. So these are very, very unrealistic. You wouldn't want a lift hill that does that on the real splash boats. Let's just make some space to put the entrance in. But this is all part of the strategy. This will give the ride lots of excitement, which is what we want to see. So I'm going to set this going. I'm going to just set this going as test. Let's build some queue lines. Let's have some nice themed queue lines. Let's have them all in different colours. So you can have green over here, which can sort of come around like that. Some nice, fairly nice long queue lines. Not going to worry about having them sort of overly long. I think the winning the scenario is going to come from the crazy throughput of this ride, not from anything else. Here we go. Let's have a red queue line as well. What I also need to do is I need to start getting some guests in the parks and begin to start to I can start by opening it, actually. A few guests will wander in, they'll not be very happy because there are no rides. We are going to sort that out in a moment. Let's pop that there. And then finally a blue queue line. Yeah. This one ends up being slightly shorter, I think. Yes, it doesn't. Oh no, they are all the same length. That's nice, isn't it? So now what I'm going to do as well, let's call this Rainbow River. Because I want this to be as exciting as it can be. So in addition to all of those sort of hills and bits and pieces that go on there, so we're going to have the prime bit of water scenery, which is the bulrushes. So pop Lots of bulrushes around the station. Should just give that a little bit of an excitement boost. So there we go. I have £1 left. Let's take out another loan. Let's take it up to 18,000 because what I need to do now is advertise. And I'm only going to advertise for the park and for the ride. Ah, yes, the ride is not open yet, so I can't advertise it yet, but I can now. There we go. So we get set that going. There's. Now, what you'll notice, I'm not going to properly rinse the guests yet for this. This is an exciting ride because as they come in, I don't want them to run out of money until the park is sort of loaded up a bit. So let's set that going. Let's get the guests and get them riding. Get them sort of happy. And I need a handyman. I need a mechanic. I should probably have an entertainer as well because the entertainers, the guests increase their happiness. The entertainer might ride more things. You know, we always have always a good time if we have a cultist or two around. So there we go. That's now building up. The guests are boarding it. I've got to the point where I've got sort of about 400 guests or so. Let's let these advertising campaigns run their way through. Here we are, nearly at the end of September. Now my advertising has a little bit left to run, but I think with 480 guests, this is the time to go for it. Let's have some going for it music. Hopefully. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two things. I'm going to crank up the price of this ride. I'm also going to crank up the efficiency. So really getting lots of guests moving between these stations. As you can see, most of the guests only take a little short ride. It's only this where they take a longer ride. So let's go for it. 16.50 I think I can get away with charging. Possibly even more. And then I'm going to just wait for a full load and set a maximum waiting time of just 5 seconds. There we go. Let's scroll that down. So you see already, it's the 2nd of October. We already have nearly 1,500 going. So I don't think this is going to be much of a challenge. Let's fast forward this. The rain is not going to help. As you see, we've got a nice full queue line here, so that's going to sustain us even through the rain. Let's see, we're getting towards, 10th October, already at 7,000. This is not going to be a particularly hard challenge. So I would say the challenge would be to pay back the loan, but I don't think even that's going to be a challenge. Oh, there we go. We blasted straight through 10,000. I didn't even bother to slow down. So little suspense in it. But yes, this works because the splash boats has very good price multiplier, similar with the log flume. So you can charge huge prices for rides which are not that exciting or intense. And because they're not that intense, lots of people want to ride it. And then there's this extra cheese here, which is that for 3/4 of the stations, the guests only do a tiny little ride and they still charge $16.50 for that. It's incredibly efficient at separating them from their cash. You'll see now that we've started now this is built, other than it being too crowded and it being great, you see already, with just that 20 days, we've efficiently removed all the money from the guests. You can't afford it. And in fact, we just run to the end of the month, you'll start seeing I Can't Afford Rainbow River become very, very prominent. Other than it's too crowded here with they're sort of wandering along there. Yes, you can see how many guests are starting to think that. So this is fairly short-lived. Look at that. We doubled the amount that we needed to beat the scenario by. This crazy. It's year one. 20,000. It will keep going along like that until the guests eventually get fed up and they lose all their cash. Because, of course, we don't have any cash machines in this scenario. There we go. Job done. And that's how to beat Botany Breakers. We've just one ride. No shops, no stalls, not even building any path. And this game, this technique has basically any scenario which has a ride ticket open income goal has just been blurred wide open by these little sort of compact 4-station setups. Yes, I should leave you with that. Yet more broken Botany Breakers, and I shall see you for some slightly more sensible tycooning in a future video.